Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, and I am here to go over the 12-game slate in Major League Baseball tonight. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast is gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, we would love to have you join us. You can send us a DM on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Let us know that you're interested in our MLB special, and you will be able to join for just $10 for the rest of the month of April. And what that's going to get you, it's going to get you in our Discord where we provide Draftkings cores and Fanduel and Yahoo full lineups for all the major sports. So definitely want to get in on that. DFS Coach Talk is a very positive, encouraging, family-friendly environment. So I think you'll find it a welcome and refreshing change from some of the other communities that are out there that are more toxic. We don't, put up with that. So we're very encouraging and positive at Coach Talk. So hope to see you soon. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the New York Yankees. Jose Suarez against Clark Schmidt. New York is minus 155 on the money line, has an over-under of 9 runs, 54 degrees with the wind blowing out at 20 miles an hour. We have confirmed lineups for the Angels: Taylor Ward, Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Hunter Renfroe, Jake Lamb, Gio Urshela, Zach Neto, and Logan O'Hoppe. For the Yankees, Anthony Volpe, Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Gleyber Torres, DJ LeMahieu, Oswaldo Peraza, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Kyle Higashioka, and Aaron Hicks. Next game, 7:05 p.m. Eastern as well. Baltimore Orioles taking on the Washington Nationals. Dean Kramer against Josiah Gray. Baltimore is minus 145, has an over-under of 9 runs, 64 degrees, wind blowing left to right at 13 miles an hour. We have for the Orioles their confirmed lineup: Cedric Mullins, Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle, Anthony Santander, Adam Frazier, Austin Hayes, Gunnar Henderson, Jorge Mateo, and Ryan O'Hearn. For the Nationals, their projected lineup, not confirmed, but projected: Alex Call, Heimer Candelario, Dominic Smith, Joey Meneses, Keibert Ruiz, Luis Garcia, Lane Thomas, CJ Abrams, and Victor Robles. Next game at 7:10 p.m. Eastern, the Minnesota Twins taking on the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Sonny Gray against Chris Sale. Minnesota is minus 115, small favorite here. 8.5 over-under. Runs, 55 degrees, wind blowing out at 10 miles an hour. Confirmed lineup for the Twins: Donovan Solano, Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Jose Miranda, Kyle Garlick, Christian Vasquez, Michael Taylor, Max Kepler, and Willie Castro. For the Red Sox, we have a projected lineup: Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers, Justin Turner, Matasaka Yoshida, Tristan Casas, Carlos Arroyo, Christian Arroyo, Carlos Arroyo, that's NBA. Christian Arroyo, Enrique Hernandez or Kike Hernandez, Connor Wong, and Jarren Duran. And then at 7:40 p.m. Eastern, the Texas Rangers taking on the Kansas City Royals, Nathan Eovaldi against Brad Keller. Texas is minus 125 favorite, over under of 9 runs, 78 degrees, wind blowing right to left at 16 miles an hour. Projected lineup for Texas: Marcus Semien, Josh Smith, Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, Jonah Heim, Robbie Grossman, Travis Jankowski, and Leody Taveras. Confirmed lineup for the Royals: Bobby Witt Sr., MJ Melendez, Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Franmil Reyes, Michael Massey, Edward Olivares, Kyle Isbell, and Nicky Lopez. Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat and see who all's here so far. King of all trades, what's going on, man? How's it going? Next game, 7:40 p.m. Eastern as well. Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Chicago White Sox. Bailey Falter against Lucas Giolito. There is no line, no over-under, 49 degrees, wind blowing in at 10 miles an hour. Projected lineup for the Phillies: Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, Brandon Marsh, Alec Boehm, Edmundo Sosa, and Jake Cave. For the White Sox: Andrew Benintendi, Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn, Eloy Jimenez, Yasmani Grandal, Oscar Colas, Jake Berger, Romy Gonzalez, and Elvis Andrews. Next game is at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Dre Jameson against Jordan Montgomery. St. Louis is minus 165 with an over-under of 8 runs. It's 75 degrees with the wind blowing right to left. The confirmed lineup for Arizona: Ketel Marte, Josh Rojas, Lourdes Gurriel, Christian Walker, Evan Longoria, Corbin Carroll, Nick Ahmed, Gabriel Moreno, and Jake McCarthy. The projected lineup for the Cardinals: Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, Jordan Walker, and Tommy Edman. Next game is at 8:10 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Houston Astros. Chris Bassett against Jose Urquidy. Houston minus 115, small favorite, over under of 9 runs. They're inside, so there's no weather. We have George Springer. These are projected lineups: George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Dalton Varsho, Alejandro Kirk, Brandon Belt, Matt Chapman, Whit Merrifield, and Kevin Kiermaier for Toronto. Projected lineup for Houston: Chas McCormick, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, Jose Abreu, Kyle Tucker, Jeremy Pena, Corey Julks, Mauricio Dubon, Martin Maldonado. Next game is at 8:40 p.m. Eastern. The Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Colorado Rockies. Vince Velasquez against Jose Urena. There is no line here. The over-under is 13 runs, 72 degrees, wind blowing left to right at 23 miles an hour. A lot of bad pitching here, honestly, it should be, between Velasquez and Urena. And so I expect this game to be the highest owned game by far. It's in Coors, bad pitching matchup. These batters should be, really high owned. For the Pirates, we have a projected lineup of G1 Bay, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, Carlos Santana, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Jack Sawinski, Tupaskita Marcano, Rodolfo Castro, and Austin Hedges. For the Rockies, we have Jurickson Profar, Chris Bryant, Charlie Blackmon, CJ Crone, Ryan McMahon, Elhuris Montero, Jonathan Daza, Elias Diaz, and Ezekiel Tovar. Then we go to the 9:40 Eastern slate. It is the Chicago Cubs taking on the Oakland Athletics. Marcus Stroman against Ken Waldichuk. Chicago is minus 180 favorite. 8 over or under implied runs. And then we have a 56 degrees with the wind blowing out at 15 miles an hour. Projected lineup for the Cubs: Nico Herner, Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, Patrick Wisdom, Cody Bellinger, Trey Mancini, Eric Hosmer, and Tucker Barnhart. For the A's, we have Asturi Ruiz, Ryan Noda, Brent Rooker, Ramon Laureano, Jace Peterson, Aledmus Diaz, Shea Langoliers, Connor Capel, and Kevin Smith. Then also at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Brewers taking on the Mariners. Colin Ray against Logan Gilbert. Seattle's minus 155 favorite. Over under of 8 runs. Indoors, no weather. Projected lineup for the Brewers: Christian Yelich, Jesse Winker, Willie Adames, Rowdy Tellez, Wilson Contreras, Garrett Mitchell, Brian Anderson, Bryce Terang, and Joey Weimer. For the Mariners: Julio Rodriguez, Ty France, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, Teoscar Hernandez, Jared Kelnick, AJ Pollock, Colton Wong, and JP Crawford. Next game is also at 9:40 p.m. Eastern. The Atlanta Braves taking on the San Diego Padres. Spencer Strider against Blake Snell. Atlanta's a minus 140 favorite, has an over-under of 7.5 runs. It's 59 degrees with the wind blowing left to right at 13 miles an hour. Projected lineup for the Braves: Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Sean Murphy, Ozzie Albies, Vaughn Grissom, Kevin Pillar, Marcelo Zuna and Eli White. For the Padres, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Nelson Cruz, Jake Cronenworth, Ha-Seong Kim, Austin Nola, Trent Grisham, and Jose Azocar. Last game of the night at Dodger Stadium, Tyler McGill against Clayton Kershaw. Dodgers are minus 165 favorite, 8.5 implied runs, 59 degrees, the wind blowing out at 9 miles an hour. For the Mets, their projected lineup, Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Mark Canha, Jeff McNeil, Tommy Pham, Eduardo Escobar, Francisco Alvarez. For the Dodgers, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, JD Martinez, Max Muncy, James Outman, David Peralta, Miguel Vargas, Austin Barnes, and Miguel Rojas. Take a look at the chat. Let's get this bread. I am with you, King of all trades. It was a little frustrating last night because we had Jacob deGrom, who, of course, left early. And then later on, we had Corbin Burns, and he got hurt too. So that was disappointing for sure. And then Kyle Freeland, he was just awful against the Pirates. So I didn't expect that. I mean, he has shown the propensity to get blown up in the past, but I just didn't think it was going to be last night. He'd been pitching pretty well, but he got absolutely destroyed last night. So kind of reverse variance caught up with him. All right, so my pay-up pitchers, the first one I'm going to name is just because he's the most expensive, overall, and that's Spencer Strider. He's not my favorite. He's 10-4 on DraftKings, 10-8 on Fanduel, $54 on Yahoo. He has been one of the better pitchers when it comes to strikeouts. He has 9 strikeouts in all 3 of his starts, including when he faced the Padres on April 6th earlier this year in Atlanta. He pitched 5 innings. He allowed 3 runs for 33 fantasy points, which is okay, but nothing what you would expect for somebody that's over 10K and then over $50 on Yahoo. So going up against the Padres, they can be a pretty tough lineup. It is a more pitcher-friendly park than Atlanta, but I just think that we can do better for the price and for the production. So the guy I'm looking at is Marcus Stroman. He is more on FanDuel. He's the most expensive pitcher on FanDuel, but he's only $8,800 on DraftKings, $45 on Yahoo, almost $10 less than Strider. Going up against the Oakland Athletics, they're tied with Washington for the 4th fewest runs scored per game, and I just feel like he's a safer option here than Strider, who's in a tougher matchup, and for the price, especially on DraftKings and Yahoo, I think Stroman's the way to go. For value, the real good value, I think, tonight is Brad Keller. He's $6,600 on DraftKings, $8,800 on FanDuel, $30 on Yahoo. Going up against the Rangers, he just faced them last Wednesday. He pitched 6 2/3 innings. He had 7 strikeouts. He only allowed 1 run for 48 fantasy points, and he hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in any of his 3 starts this year. So been pitching pretty well. Very cheap on DraftKings. That's almost a plug and play for me on DraftKings. On FanDuel and Yahoo, you can, take it or leave it. But on DraftKings, I think he's almost a must play. The guy I'm fading is Sonny Gray. He's been pitching really well, but he's going up against Boston. They have the 9th lowest strikeout rate. And the big deal is they're tied with Atlanta for the 4th most runs per game. So 5.44 runs per game. If you've been watching Boston, they've been putting up a lot of, you watch all their games, they're always near double digits or over, it seems like, for each team. So very high scoring games. So I would expect more of the same tonight between Boston and Minnesota, because Chris Sale's been struggling too. My BVP play of the day is Carlos Santana. He's $3,400 on DraftKings, $3,200 on FanDuel, $16 on Yahoo. He's 5 hits and 17 at-bats against Jose Ureno, 4 singles and a home run. So I do like him in Coors against Jose Urena, who's really been struggling with almost a 10 ERA. Then we have, for stacks, going right along with that, the Pirates. They're probably going to be by far the highest owned stack tonight, but I really like them anyway. Even though they had a big night last night, Jose Urena has not been pitching well at all, and the Pirates have been playing very well. They're right there behind the Brewers in the NL Central right now. So they're looking pretty good to start the year. Other team I like for a stack is the Cubs against Ken Waldichuk. He's really been struggling. Cubs have some good righties against lefties. Patrick Wisdom, Dansby Swanson's hit a home run against him before. Ian Happ has been better against lefties in the past. He's been struggling against them this year, but I think he could have a decent game. And then Nico Herner is also good against lefties. My other stack I'll save for the members, which will take me to my home run call, which is going to be Yordan Alvarez. Super expensive, $6,500 on DraftKings, $4,500 on Fanduel, and $22. That's the best value for him on Yahoo. So on Yahoo, I think he's a really good value play. He's hit 400, 4 hits and 10 at-bats against Bassett, a single and 3 home runs. 3 of his 4 home runs this year against right-handed pitchers. Last year, he hit 27 of 37 against right-handed pitchers. So Yordan Alvarez is going to be my first home run call. My other home run call I'll be saving for our members. My Prizepicks plays of the day, Yordan Alvarez, my home run call. He's more than 8.5 hitter fantasy score. That's going to be my first Prizepicks play. My second one is my favorite pitcher, Marcus Stroman. I like more than 37.5 fantasy score for him. I think he has 50-plus fantasy point potential tonight. And that's going to do it for the Tuesday podcast for MLB. Be sure to stick around here in about 15 minutes. Deb is going to be going over the triple header in the NBA playoffs tonight. So we've got the Cavaliers and the Knicks, the Celtics and the Hawks, and the Suns, her Suns, and the Clippers, game 2. So definitely looking forward to that. Like I said before, if you're new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Send us a DM. Let us know that you want the MLB special. We'll get you in for the rest of the month for $10. Enjoy the NBA show with Deb, and I'll be back on Thursday as we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and Prizepicks. Thank you.